this, let's bring in Joel Rubin, former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State and President of the Washington Strategy Group. And what are you reading into this incident, and what are the chances that Iran will not retaliate it and treat it as some sort of an American retaliation for the American drone that was downed about 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, Tal, it's a great question, and it clearly is something that should come up in the minds of the Iranians about whether or not this was the retaliation. I don't think it was, though, and I think we need to be very careful about guessing as to why the Navy decided at this point they needed to shoot it down. But the bigger picture is that there are no guardrails right now on the U.S.-Iran relationship. It's a tinderbox. Anything can happen, and incidents can happen like this, but they could be much worse. And so the failure to have communication, to have a line directly to Tehran, to be able to avoid a major military conflict, that doesn't exist. And it's a real danger to us because we are not seeing any progress on the actual substance of what the president wants to achieve with Iran, which is a better nuclear deal, as he says, and other issues. We're going in the opposite direction.
The Iranian Foreign Minister, Mohammad Javad Zarif, was in the United States this week, and it seems that Iran maybe is changing its policy towards potential future talks with the United States. Well, right now it doesn't sound like the U.S. could meet the Iranian conditions, like stop selling arms to Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates or lifting all sanctions, but is it some progress?
Yeah, I mean, the construct here is that the United States, we essentially demanded that Iran changed the entire structure of its foreign policy to get a deal with the United States. 12 conditions is what they're known as by Secretary Pompeo. And so we have taken away the nuclear deal. We've pulled out of that, but we're expecting Iran to abide by it. We're asking them to change their entire foreign policy. Now Iran is doing the same. They're doing strikes, as John mentioned. They're harassing ships. They're doing other kinds of activities. They're demanding higher levels of concessions from the United States. This policy's gone backwards a decade now. And so the progress we made on diplomacy, while not perfect, was building. Now we're backwards, and it doesn't look like we have any structure in place to get a negotiation to actually resolve these points of contention. And that's the real concern. When there's no structure, there's no diplomacy, there's just demands and fiat, and not much is going to move in the right way if that's the approach.
John Stylianides, Joel Rubin, thank you both.